No more than 25 minutes.
Okay.
No more than 25 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. And all right. And welcome to the Coach Mike's Corner. And I'm your host, Coach Mike. And today uh, I'm here today with Charlie T, and she is a fitness coach trainer, and she's also just breaking into bodybuilding. So, without ado, Coach Charlie T, I'd like to thank you for coming on, and I
Yes.
appreciate you being here. Tell us a little bit about who is Coach. I'm sorry, Coach Charlie T. Tell us about who is Charlie T.
Well, first of all, thank you so much, Coach Mike, for having me on your show, your platform today. I am humbled, I'm grateful, I'm honored. I'm just to be able to share a little bit about my life. So I am Coach Charlie T. I was born and raised in Oakland, California. So I am a Californian through and through from the Bay Area. I relocated to Texas about 7 years ago. So I go back and forth frequently, but I am residing right now in Houston, Texas. Just a little bit about me. I broke into fitness probably about 2020. So I think during like right when the pandemic started, I think that's when a lot of people found different passions and zeal
Yeah,
for
yeah,
life, during that era. COVID really, really birthed, a lot of dreams and hopes and goals. And so I had noticed that I had picked up a lot of weight. And I was like, I know it wasn't as significant maybe to others, but of course, with my 5'2.5" frame, I'm like, yeah, I need to do something about that. And so I had broken to the health and wellness business and, was selling health and wellness products. But I also believe that I needed to be healthy. And I
mm-hmm.
needed to be able to show, people who was asking questions about the different products, kind of being my own spokesperson. And so I just simply started walking and started dropping pounds just by simply walking. And then maybe a couple of months into that, I met my now trainer again during COVID. We were both in the same health and wellness business. And he was like, hey, I can help you. And I was like, a little skeptical about what you can do online. And, I wasn't a gym person. So I was
Right.
like, I can't get any results at home. Like, you mean to tell me at home in my living room with some weights that I can get some pinpointed results? And he was like, yes. And so I signed up in the middle of 2020. And I have been on the health journey ever since.
Mm-hmm.
So my first couple of years, I was just a member in the community, training maybe 3 to 5 times a week, more so 3 times a week at that point, with life challenges, adversities, things that come up. And then just here recently, within the last maybe 12 to 15 months, ago, moved into coaching fitness,
Okay.
with the fitness community. Shout out to Damn Sports Fitness, based
Uh,
out of the Bay Area. And so it has just been a whirlwind in the
mhm.
last 12 to 15 months of coaching, really learning about the body and how it can transform. And
Right.
yes, right from your living room. And so went on to, do a show,
Mhm.
a competition bodybuilding show, trained for only 6 weeks. Usually the cycle is
Mhm.
about 14 to 16 weeks, and did that last year. And it's 2024. Here I am.
Oh, okay. All right. So now you said you grew up and you were raised in Oakland, California.
Yes.
Okay. How was it in Oakland, California, be living there at that time?
So growing up in Oakland was amazing. I had an amazing childhood. Um, I can remember we lived in the Oakland Hills. So I can remember going outside,
Okay.
riding my bike, taking cardboard, sliding down all the hills, walking to school when you could walk to school, walk back
Right.
home, being home before the street lights came on.
I
I
know those
grew up
days.
in a world where there were no cell phones.
Mhm.
We went outside to play. So I'm probably the last generation or close to the last generation to really know what it's like to play outside all day long.
Right. Yeah.
So it was great growing up in
Okay.
Oakland. It was
Yeah.
community based. Everyone knew, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And what I did know is that your mom or your dad was not the only person that would chastise you. Okay.
Right.
The neighbors would get you, friends and family members, the
Mhm.
accountability was there. So,
Right.
my childhood was absolutely amazing, with both my mom and my dad. And then I have a
Okay.
sister as well.
All right. So you have a sister. Is she in the wellness and fitness as well?
She's actually starting to break in. I think I'm wearing her down. I'm
Oh yeah.
wearing her
Yeah. Yeah.
down. Yeah, she
Okay.
has, and she's my biggest supporter.
Yeah.
She definitely keeps me encouraged. And oh, sis, you're
Mhm.
looking good. And I'm like, well, we're just waiting on you, but
Okay.
it's a mindset. And the body can't go where the mind will not take it.
Right. Right.
So,
That's so true.
we can have all these great changes, but you have to be able to have the mindset to, one, go after it, and then two, sustain it.
It's fake. Yeah.
So
Okay.
hopefully
Yeah.
soon. I'm still working
Yeah.
on it.
You're still working on it. All
I'm
right.
still working
That's
on it.
good.
Yes.
uh, what's you're in Texas,
Yes.
and so you do your fitness in Texas as well?
Yes.
Oh,
So we are primarily, my sports fitness, my community, we're primarily online, although
oh,
my trainer does have his studio where we can go and train in person, where he has his in-person clients as well, but the majority of us are online. We train 5 days a week.
uh,
We rest too, but
all
we
right.
get it done, and it's just an hour,
You did it.
and what we
All right.
say is it's an hour for yourself, right? It's an
Yeah.
hour of self-care. There's 24 hours in a day. Can you not
Mhm.
give yourself 1 hour,
1 hour.
right?
I hear you.
To really work on your health and wellness.
All
So
right. That
yes.
sounds good. Now, tell me about okay. Tell me about the competition that you was in, the one competition that you went in.
Okay. The competition that I was in was amazing. So I'll say this. I've never had been to a bodybuilding competition. I had
Hmm.
never seen one. Again, just this fitness journey and how it all works is new to me. But I have seen, we have in our community, world champions, Miss Olympia. We have a reigning Miss Olympia right now who is, our competition coach. And I
Okay.
mean, we're learning from the best of the best. And I only could go by what I heard, the pictures I saw. But I was always intrigued. And we have our mindset coach who decided to compete last year.
All right.
And she's probably about my build. We're about the same height. And we had the transformation that she had, I could see myself having that same transformation. And
Hmm.
I was so inspired by her because she looked great. Her first competition, she rocked the stage and she won. And
Hmm.
so that inspired just a little bit to say, I think I
Okay.
could do it. I mentioned it to my trainer just one day, was like, I think I want to do a competition. And he was like, okay, but we never really spoke about it again. So months went by. It was
Hmm.
out my mind. It probably because I was real inspired when I saw the pictures. It
Right.
was out my mind. He didn't bring it back up until I think I had just came back from California from our annual pool party, and we were on our Monday morning motivation like that day or next few days. And so at the end of the morning motivation, he was speaking and saying, you know, we have some amazing transformations, you know, that are happening in the community, but there's one person in particular that I really would like to see, you know, hit the stage. And I was like, surely he wasn't talking about me, because we hadn't talked about competition in, you know, some months. And so I'm just listening. And of course, after he keeps going, and then he says, you know, I want to see Coach Charlie. Like, he highlighted me. And, you know, one thing about my trainer is, like, once he sets his mind, you know, to something, most of the time we're going to do it, because he believes in what we do. And it's really important for someone to believe in you.
Yes, that is. That's true.
In what you're doing. And so, of course, on the spot, I was like, okay, you know, I didn't want to, you know, in front of a lot of people. But in my mind, I was like, oh my goodness, I need to think about this thing here. But of course, I thought about it throughout the day. And I said, why not? Like, why not? You've had great success. I wasn't where I wanted to be, but I had great success because I had been training. I've never stopped training. And so I called him and said, okay, let's go. What do I have to do? And I was literally the conversation the conversation into the competition. And so he said, we have about 7 weeks. And so here's what you need to do. I did 2 a day. So I trained online with my noon class. And then I trained at lunch. I would work, go to lunch and train in my living room. I would go back to work, and then I would go to the gym in the evening. So literally that was my schedule for about 6 weeks. All things were put on hold. Everything outside of this house and my workout schedule was put on hold. The journey to the stage was amazing. I will encourage anyone who is inspiring, if you see something, or someone, just to do it and to actually go through the process. I'm not going to tell you it's easy, because it is not. It is absolutely a mind thing. It's not even so much that you're hungry, but it is wear and tear on your body, because you have to make sure you're eating the right food. So your nutrition has to be on point. You have to drink water. I mean, I don't know, we can drink everything else, but when it comes to that water, we can't do it. We can't drink that water.
Yeah.
Have to drink the water, because you need to stay hydrated, and you have to train and do, the proper exercises. There's a lot of people who do it on their own. For me, I know that I couldn't have done it without the team that I had. I literally had my trainer, I had a competition coach, and I had an accountability coach.
Wow,
because
people.
You have to, it's because it's a mental thing. Because sometimes either you're not seeing the results, you're tired, I can't do it. And you need someone to help push you to say, yes, you can, pull off, shower, rest, go to bed, right? Sleeping and resting, is a part of the journey. And so I did everything up for those 6.5 weeks. I flew out to California a couple of days beforehand. The competition was on Saturday. I flew in on Wednesday because I tend to be jet lagged. The flight is about 4 hours from Houston to the Bay Area.
Okay.
And so I went on. I had everything, I had my hair done. I had a makeup appointment. I had to get the bikini made. I mean, there's so many different moving pieces and parts, because all of that is important to be able to win, right? Like your presentation, it's not just the training, but it's the bikini for women, right? That you're wearing, how your hair is, what your makeup looks like. I mean, it's a whole thing.
Wow.
So of course, when I got there, I was like a kid in a candy store, because I was just that excited. So I was really being a spectator and a participant at the same time. The energy in the room, in the space, was just infectious. Like you have to want to do it to have that much passion. Like I was just like, I was just like, I'm so excited. The women were great. I didn't know what to expect because it's a competition. And so you don't know if people are not going to be nice or if they're going to be rude, like what is it? But everyone was so amazing that I met. I was happy to see our culture there. I was happy to see the representation for us in the building, getting ready. It was just amazing to be able to see the women, how they, explaining their process. Because of course, as you're getting ready, like we have to put makeup on the body. They're getting tanned. I'm naturally tanned. And that's probably one of the good things about living in Houston because it's hot the majority of the time.
Yeah.
So I always have a pretty good, tan because they were like, "Are you tan?" I said, "No, this is just the weather." Natural tan. But there's so much to go into it. We cheered each other on when we hit the stage. Now, I was a little nervous and I used to model. So I've been public speaking since about 5 years old. I think I was my first since I was 5. My first engagement was being kindergarten valedictorian. My mom said I'm proud of that. I really am. But that was my first speech. So public speaking is not a thing for me, but just getting out there, I was like, oh my goodness. Wow. What's going to happen? And so I compete in the wellness category, which is more focused on your quads, your glutes, of course, your back and your shoulders. Not so, they do like your abs to be defined, but they're really looking at the bottom half, in the wellness category. And from what I've been told, it's a newer category. I think the bikini category dominated mostly in the bodybuilding, but they now have a category for us. I appreciate that because when we were looking at the categories, I didn't want to become super skinny for bikini. I was like, that's just never been my shape, even though I've been small. I would like to keep the parts that I, was born with and developed. I don't want to lose those things. Right. And I was like, and I live in Texas. I was like, I need those things. So I was super excited that, we could develop those. And so it's my turn. We were backstage cheering. We didn't even know each other. A lot of us cheering each other on. I did have a few of my fitness members that we all competed together in different categories. So we were cheering each other on. And I hit the stage like it was the first time. Like it wasn't the first time, I would say. I just took the stage. I just said, you know what, Charlie, if you're going to do it, do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. And so I did it. And, the first person, when I came off the stage, the first person that I saw was my competition coach. And she was like, oh my God, you did amazing. Now I want to share that the majority of my training was online. And when I say online or by myself, I was either online or by myself because my fitness club is in the Bay Area. So posing classes was online. If I had to do any type of additional training online, or if I had to go to the gym, I was by myself, where most people are with their coach physically. So it can be done. It can be done. And it
can be done. It's the willpower. So
it is.
With all the training you do. Now, just give the people a bit of like the type of diet that you have when you're doing this training, or so just doing physical fitness.
Got it. So when I'm doing, so the training plan is going to change depending on where you are. And so again, this is where the trainer comes in because they know. And so for like the first maybe 3 weeks, I was on more of a bulking diet where it wasn't super duper restrictive. But of course, you are going to cut down on your sugars, your carbs, your processed. But I was able to eat. So like, we have a fork and knife is what we call it in our Trainerize app. And so our trainer will load he puts in different parameters, and then it just loads like all of these, different meals you can choose from breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I, in my mind, had the pick of the litter for the first 3 weeks at least. So I had, I did this cauliflower rice with shrimp. I was able to eat sweet potatoes. Of course, your avocados, which is your good fats, turkey. I mean, I was going, my eggs, I could eat. I did a protein. What did I do? I made protein French toast. So things that you were like, yes, because in your mind, these are good things. These are good things I would eat at brunch, and so I was able to eat salmon. So, high in protein, of course, good fats, good carbs, but bulking. And then, of course, he tapered me down. So once he starts to taper you down, then you're more on just high protein, low fats, low carbs. And of course, we don't do a lot of sugar at all, really, unless it's natural. And so I did that for a couple of weeks. About a week and a half into, or a week and a half before the show, I would say maybe a week and a half before the show, it was the diet down. So it was more so just your white fish, your asparagus. Every other day, you may get a carb, which is 1/4 cup of brown rice. I memorized that. You can get, it was egg whites, not whole eggs. So definitely leaning you out, right? So you have the bulking phase, then you kind of have a little in-between phase, and then it's that lean out phase. And then, of course, that week before, you're tapering down. Meaning starting Monday, you're still really strong. Fish and asparagus for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner. That is it. That's all. Nothing else in between. And once a day, you can get a handful of, we say either a handful, or if you don't have a food measurer, an ounce of almonds. Yeah, an ounce of almonds or an ounce of walnuts. That's not both, but
you can't have both.
One or the other. One or the other. And, yes, and then as well as your water, right, intake is tapering down. And I tell you, the dramatic change that your body goes through just in that week, it's almost like a drying out phase, so that your muscles are popping. Because I look at the pictures and I'm like, I don't look like that every day. Of course I don't, because water, and I'm not eating fish and asparagus every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so it was just an amazing, even with that. Now, of course, yes, you're gonna be grumpy. So ladies, you got to keep your attitude in check, because it's not the food that we want to eat, but it's the food that we need to eat. And as my competition coach said, food is for fuel, and that's what you need to get to it. So that's what the diet looks like, for that time.
So can people follow you or your in your group or you're online where people can follow you? And if so, can you give that information?
Yes. So I can be followed. I am at Charlie T, and that's CHARLIE TEE on Facebook. I am for Instagram. I am at Coach Charlie .T. For my fitness group, it is DAM, DAM, capital DA, capital D, capital A, capital M, Sports Fitness. And we do have a page and a group on Facebook. Also, if you have any questions about, the fitness community or what we do, it is all over my page. So you can definitely check that out or message me. I am so willing and so ready to talk to, the ladies, who I really am interested in talking to is my ladies over 40. I'm 45. And so I'm really, you know, this is the prime. This is where we're kind of settled in life. You know, we've had our children, you know, we've gone to school, got that education, we got that career, and we turn around and realize we have not given any time to ourselves because we've given it to everything else with our families. And so I really have set my sights on and honing in on that 40 plus, you know, ladies crowd, that group, because I'm like, we still got it, ladies. We still we are in the prime of our lives to look good, to feel good, to be healthy, to be happy, and to be whole. And so that is exactly, you know, who I hope that I can speak to. We also have, just want to put this in here, we have a men's group as well that my trainer, that he, you know, runs with a group of our fellow coaches, as we call them. And so if there's any men that listen, our health is our wealth.
Right, that's true.
We need to be healthy to have longevity in life. Like, that is the only way to, you know, aid in helping and supporting long life. We don't want to be 50 and 60, you know, unhealthy, on a lot of pills, you know, going back and forth to the doctor, when giving yourself simply 1 hour a day, 30 minutes to 1 hour a day, to combat a lot of those things.
Okay. All right. So when will be your next bodybuilding competition? Because you said this one is almost full circle, right?
Yes. So we are going into competition season. So if you follow me on Facebook and IG, you'll be able to see, as I'm going to journal my whole journey to the stage a second time. My first show is May 18th. And it is going to be in the Bay Area. In San Leandro, I believe. So May 18th. So we are getting ready and we are gearing up. Now, I never stop training, meaning that I never take, I don't take breaks. So I'm still training, but there's a difference when you competition train. There's just a different, you know, type of training. So I'm always training, but we're gearing up for more pinpointed, you know, training depending on the area you're going to compete in, because we have about maybe, I think, 6 or 7 of us that are competing in this season. And so they're in different categories. So if you follow me, you'll definitely be able to see that. And I just put up my starting pictures of where I'm starting from.
All right. Okay. Well, it's been a great, so we'll kind of get short for time, but it's been great speaking with you, Coach Sally T. It's been real great. I appreciate it. And I hope after May, you said May 18th?
May 18th, yes.
After May 18th, you'll come back, let us know how everything went for us, for you.
Yes,
so we
absolutely. If you have me back.
All the trophies you received. And with that, I'd like to say thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I so appreciate this opportunity. I truly do.
Thank you.